Right. Oh, dang, baby popped up on my screen already. I got that notification. Oh, I ain't turning my phone down.
Cool. Salutations. Peace to the family. 747 24/7, 360 100 degrees. 61 degrees. I don't know if y'all can hear me loud and clear. Let me see. Can you hear me loud and clear? I don't know if you can hear me. Shout out. You can't hear it? Or no? Shout out to the family. Hopefully y'all can hear me. Let me know. Can you hear me? Can you pull up your phone? See if you can hear it. And just turn it down. Can you pull up your phone? Oh yeah, it definitely heard that one. It definitely heard that one. Okay. I guess y'all can hear me. What's up? Justin said yay. Yay, yay. Okay, share the video. Everyone share the video, please. Let me do some invites real quick. I got something special to share with everyone. As you see, I got something on the screen that's kind of different today. You might say, well, what is this, Lamel? Actually, I have the Galaxy in my hands right now. Just a way to observe the galaxy. So you can see what's around me. Okay, what's below me. Alright, you're able to see these things. Alright, so I want to share a little bit of information with the family. Wow, look at Scorpio right there. Wow, that's hot. Shout out. I'll tell you where all the planets are as well. You can see where all the planets, certain planets that are in certain zodiac signs. Like the moon is in Leo right now. Bang. Capricorn, Saturn is in Capricorn. No, Saturn came out as Capricorn. It's in between Aquarius. But Mars is in Aquarius and Jupiter is in Aquarius and so forth. But I don't want to just get off track. Let me just do some invites and some shares real quick. Alright. Shout out to the people. It's all love. So today is the 70th day of the 90-day water cleanse. Alright. Peace to everyone holding strong. I'm going to say, what up? I love y'all. Shout out to Ash. Peace to the gods. Peace to the goddesses. Alright. Like I said, I'm doing a little bit more invites and some shares. You can share the video. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. We're going to share the video for about 30 more seconds. And then we're going to have a good informational, a good conversation that will be transformational for certain people that come here with a clear heart and also clear intentions. Okay, so I'm almost done the invites. Give me about 20 more seconds. All right. Shout out to brother Accretius. I see you. Peace to sister Kim. Wow. Shout out to everybody. You already know who you are. Peace to the family. I see y'all. Okay. Shout out to everybody watching in the YouTube as well. Alright. Thank you. Peace. Peace and love. Alright. So, I guess I'm ready to start. I'm ready to begin. I'm ready to begin. All right, cool. So, peace to the family. 747 24/7, 361 degrees. Okay. Today's date so happens to be 9, what is it? 9/14, 9, what is it? 9/15 13? No, 9/15/12 in the codex.
Yes.
Today's 9/15/12, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
All right. So, I just want to break a couple things down and just first bring up today's date. Today's mathematics, 9/15/12. I'll bring that up as the first thing so we can be on track. All right. And I'm going to elaborate on those numbers. All right. So when you look at that, you got to also tap into the sacred word. And the sacred word would be this right here. Hold up, excuse me. Just give me 1 second. Okay, 1 second. I got you. It's A O U L A. That's the sacred word. Word of the day. Alright, cool. What's up, yo? If y'all in here, please put something in the comment section. So, yeah, thank you. Thank you, Queen. Shout out to Sister Newbie Nia. I see you in here. Peace to the family. I see y'all coming in. So it's Ayaola. Ayaola. Or Ayaola. Wow. All the vowels. This is the sacred word of today. Ayaola. Which rhymes with Zola. Ayaola, which rhymes with Zola. This is the sacred word of today. Alright? So, peace to everybody that has been following the Messiah. Peace to everybody. Alright? So, we live in a new age called information. Y'all hear me? We live in a new age called information, all right? And within this new age of information, we have embodied. Peace to Sister Kim Coom. I see her in the building. I see you. Within this new age of information, we have embraced various different forms of knowledge that have come across, you know, our studies. Now, just bringing you up on some knowledge. Shout out to everybody coming in just to bring you up on some knowledge. All right. When I share this information, it is chartered or channeled from something affectionately that we call the body of the Messiah. Now, these numbers flow between 1 and 31. Each and every one of us are designated along this body or this network that we call the Messiah. All right. So what I want to say is everybody here, you have a special purpose. You have a special calling to fulfill. And the reason and what led you here is part of that purpose. All right. The things that you have studied in the past and to bring you to this realm of information also is to fulfill your greater purpose. All right. So you might say, well, what do you mean by this? Well, a Messiah is a leader or savior of a particular group or cause. So in any designated area, there is a Messiah located there. All right. And you may be the Messiah in that designated location to fulfill a task of sort. All right. It's up to you to fulfill it. Okay. I'm here to bring out your potency or what's considered to be your potential. Okay. So moving forward real quick, I wanted to tell everybody and give everybody a congratulations. You know, it's day 70. Day 70, you have made it, yo. Day 70. So it has been what? 10 weeks? You have been doing the 90-day water cleanse for a period of 10 weeks. Give it up to yourself. Come on, come on. Give it up to yourself, man. Patting myself on the back if nobody patting me, brushing my shoulder off because it is what it is. All right, but listen, you know what's so special about today? Besides the point of it being the 70th day of the 90-day water cleanse, what's so special is that this is relative to a baby. Something that happens to a baby on the 70th day. The 10th week of a baby. You got to look at yourself as that baby. All right? We are a baby. We are all children of the Most High, or children of the universe, growing in development. All right? So we're babies in a sense. We're always coming new. We're always learning. You know, a wise man knows that he knows nothing.
Okay.
Real talk.
Mm-hmm.
And the more you learn, the more you got, the more you know, the more you got to learn. All right? So, you know, on the 70th day, I wanted to tell y'all that the brain of the baby is fully developed. It's literally near full development. Like, it's 11 parts of the brain. Look, listen. By the 10th week, the brain is small, smooth structure that looks whole, a lot more like the brain is used. Hold up, excuse me. I'm going to find something for y'all real quick about the 10th week of a woman's pregnancy. I want y'all to kind of look at it like that. How about this? You look it up, the 10th week. Because we're on the 10th week of the 90-day water cleanse. So your brain is developing as well within this water cleanse. You know, you got to realize you're having a struggle with yourself as well within this water cleanse. You know, something that's holding and pulling you, something that's pulling you, because I told people not only we're doing an exercise when we pick up them books, when we pick up these books, we're doing a exorcism. All right. So in one sense, you know, Allah says hold on to the rope, or in the Quran it says hold on to the rope of Allah as one family, as one Jemma, as one family, yo. Hold on to the rope of Allah. But you got to realize when Allah gives you that rope, Allah gives you knots in that rope, or phases that you go through within that rope. But you got to always pull yourself closer to God, because the enemy is trying to pull you with a rope or with a string to be a puppeteer of sort. All right? So you got to allow yourself, you got to be so strong in these days and times. And it's really not easy to be strong. All right? So it's certain scriptures that I really want to bring. And I just want to put it in the comment section. Let me see. Ephesians 6:12. Let me see if I can bring this up. It's important. Like some of these things, like people argue about the Bible, people argue certain things, but what about the principles? Certain principles, you really need these principles in your life. All right? So I got something for you in the comment section. You know, and this is with the mental war or struggle, or what is considered to be the jihad that everyone goes through in their life in some sort of way. All right, so excuse me. It says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood. Hear me out. Listen. It says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against rulers of the darkness of this world against spiritual wickedness in high places. Therefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand. Yo, this is deep. This is a real deep verse, yo. This is the real deep verse when you break it down. It says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood. Like, I'm not like, a lot of times we have arguments with our loved ones. We have arguments with our family members, in the realm of righteousness. When we in this path of righteousness, a lot of times we have also a struggle with our loved ones, okay? But it breaks this down right here. 6, like I said, 6 is the rope. All right, 12 is the family because it's Zaru, which represents the birch tree. All right, 12 through 13. Just giving you the mathematics on here. All right, so Ephesians 6:12, it says we wrestle not against flesh and blood. Like, you may not be you're not wrestling with your son, or you're not wrestling with whatever. You're wrestling with the influence. You're wrestling with the influence that tries to take over your son or your child. Or that you wrestle with the influence. Like, because if you think about it, the world is trying to capture not only your children, the world is trying to capture your loved one as well. With an influence on how love is supposed to be. What is romance? I mean, Rome is built off a mythological story of 2 men sucking from a wolf's titty. So, what about romance? We look at romance shouldn't be a form of affection for one another. It shouldn't be a dedicated form of affection for one another. Because it's a lot of other things that come with romance. But we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but we wrestle against the influence that comes from these principalities of powers. All right, and these rulers of, and I ain't even gonna say darkness, it's obscurity. I'm gonna keep it real. That word shouldn't be darkness, because God dwells in darkness. It should be really obscurity. I'm gonna keep it real. The rulers of obscurity of this world against the wickedness of high places. Yo, that's telling you right there. It's a lot of wicked people in high places. It's a lot of people that really truly that did a lot of wicked things, that got money, that are in successful places, that did a lot of low things to get what they to get where they are. All right, so you gotta think about just yourself sometimes. You know what I mean? When it comes into the pursuit of your success, we follow the path of the turtle once again. Okay, success is not rushed, even though in some cases some people do hit the lottery. All right, but success is not rushed. All right, success comes from gradual work. All right, because if you think about, if you have something now, what would you do with it? Going back to Solomon, right? Second, right? Soul of Amun, soul of Amun, Solomon. All right. Solomon asks for wisdom rather than riches. All right. This is hot. This is a 131 once again. That's why I kill y'all with these 131s. Don't mess with me. But it's certain things like with Solomon, when he gave up, when he was offered riches in place, he could have had riches, all the riches of the world, but he chose wisdom instead of riches. Somebody said, well, if he chose wisdom, right? See, you got to think about it. Like, so he just became the smartest person in the world because he chose wisdom. All right? He became, through experience, he gained wisdom. because experience is from situation. Wisdom is experience from situations and events lived. All right. So he got these things, the designated response of wisdom from his experience. All right. So just moving forward, you got to ask yourself about that and the struggles that you have. One thing that we called it the jihad. One name that we called it a jihad, and a jihad was not a war going to bombing yourself and blowing yourself up. That wasn't a part of jihad. The jihad is the fight, the inner struggle that you have with yourself, the involuntary self versus the voluntary self. All right, we all have various different choices, and one choice that we have, one of them is will. They have come to the point where they have taken will away from you, or they have put a limitation on your will because they have given you a limited amount of choices when it comes to God, when it comes to spirituality or reality within itself. You have been given a limited amount of choices, but you have the choice to actually contemplate and create your own reality or heavenly abode here on this planet. All right. So other things I want to share with you. Let me see another verse I can share with you that's really hot that I like. All right. Matthew 6:19. 6:19. This is hot. So let me see if I can do this real quick. Thank you for everybody coming in. So bow. Here it is. This is a deep verse. This is a deep verse. All right, hear me out. So we're going to touch 6:19 through 21, right? And I'm going to put y'all another place, right? It says this. It says this, right? Excuse me. All right. I don't know why it gave me Luke whatever. I meant to put Matthew 6:19, but that's a relative scripture. They're synoptic scriptures. Like you got the four synoptic gospels. A lot of them, the four synoptic gospels, they relate to the same story almost in their own way. They tell a story a different way. All right, so I'll just go to Luke 11:34. All right, it says this: lay not up for yourself treasures on earth, where moth and dust destroy, and where thieves break in and steal, but lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven. All right. So one of the main subjects of today is, because today is the 70th day, is heaven. All right. Today is the day called Malakut in the Codex, or what is considered to be the upgraded body of the Messiah. Now, the word heaven, it actually comes from the word haven, which is a docking arena for boats, if you're thinking about it. Like a haven. A haven as a docking arena for boats. I'm gonna show you. I want to show y'all an image of this kind of. But it's a haven. It's relative to the word heaven, yo. Hear me out. This is the concept that took you out of real existence. When they gave you this concept of heaven, all right? Hear me out. Because I can go through various different places. Heaven wasn't a place that you had to go to when you died. All right? To keep it real. It was never a place you had to go to when you died. But the word heaven stems from the word haven, which implies the same thing as a docking arena for boats. All right, so you think about it. You say, man, well, okay. Question: if it's not relative to a docking arena for boats, well, when people argue, what happens when you die? They say, well, I'm going to see such and such. Okay, well, let's say my grandmom is waiting for me at such and such, right? She's waiting for me at such and such. Okay, now it's like a station or somewhere because she has to be waiting somewhere for me to go there. Now you got not only her waiting for me, you got other people and other people waiting for their other people that are coming to meet in this haven or heaven, this place called heaven. So now heaven becomes a crowded place because we're going to need some ushers. We're going to need some people to put things in tickets in order for certain people that's coming in. Like, we need some order now because heaven becomes a chaotic place. Oh, I got you. Matthew 11:12. Let's go. We're talking about heaven, right? Let's break down this heaven situation and the concept of what it really represents. So it says this. I'll put it in the comments section. You can argue with me later about it. Listen. It says this. It says this, yo. It says, oh, everybody wants to go to heaven, right? But it says, and from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven, what? Suffereth violence. And the violent take it by force. Whoa. Everybody wants to go to heaven, right? The concept of heaven is wrong. What they gave us is wrong. All right? Haven. They gave us a haven. They gave us hell. Really? If you want to be for real. Because definition of Hellenism. Put it in the comment section. I'll put it in the comment section for you. Here it is. This is why I said they didn't give us heaven. The concept of heaven was wrong. What they gave us. They gave us hell. Because, man. Alright. Right here. It says the national character or culture of Greece. Especially ancient Greece. The reputation of Hellenism. In Jerusalem, the study or the imitation of Greek culture. Did they not give us hell? Did they not give us hell? They gave us a whole lot of hell. Till this day, it says what it said. It said this. And from the days of John the Baptist until now, yeah, right now, the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence, and the violent take it by force. They took your concept of heaven away from you, yo. Or what heaven is supposed to be. I can show you in the scripture when it says, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven, right? I didn't heard that before somewhere. But it says, say not the kingdom of heaven is here nor there, but it's within you. Say not the kingdom of heaven is here nor there, but it's within you. I didn't see these things. People will look and say that. I'll put it in the comment section as well. You know, and you might say, well, what are you leaning towards, Lamel? The fact that the concept of heaven is wrong. or what they gave us is wrong. For what you waiting for is wrong. It's time for you to build it. All right? It's really time for you to build it. And heaven has a foundation as well. But what's so deep about it is where I'm Gary take y'all. I wanted to put that in the comment section. Sorry. Where I really wanted to take y'all with this heaven concept is when I showed y'all that a heaven is a haven, which is a docking arena for boats. The reason why I wanted to take y'all there because what if I tell you God's heaven is relative to like a garden instead? What if I say that? I mean, for real. It's described like a garden. It's not described like a haven. It's not described like a chaotic place where a bunch of people waiting for you. It's not described like that. It's described like a garden. Now you say, oh, what do you mean by it's described like a garden, Lamel? Yeah, with a river flowing with what? Milk and honey, right? And it has a tree, right? And fruit that grows from this tree that fulfills the sustenance of life. All right? But the concept of heaven is really like a garden. It's not a place that you go to when you die. All right? Hear me out. The reason why it's like a garden, because you walk through the garden of life, right? And as you walk through the garden of life, you sit back and pick the fruits. And you don't even know what fruit is good for you or what fruit is bad for you. But you pick these fruits. But as you begin and continue to walk along this journey, you understand which fruits are good for you and which fruits are bad for you along this garden or along this journey. And as you keep on walking and as you keep on moving, you move into a realm of sustenance where you find trees are bearing grapefruit. All right? And this is within you. That's why I said heaven is within you, yeah. And it's a garden that you pick from. The fruits are right here. The fruits of life are right here. The fruit of Islam, the fruit of peace is right here. It's within one another. You know what I'm saying? Heaven is like a garden, yo. It's really a garden. If you want to, Jannah is a garden. That's what they say. The word Jannah is a garden, yo. It's not a docking arena for boats, and it's not a place that you go to when you die. Matter of fact, if you want me to take it back to the Hebrew, I even bust your brain up with the Hebrew. You know what I'm saying? When they say Shemayim for Hebrew for heaven, you know what they say? Man, I'm gonna kill y'all real quick. Listen, I'm gonna hit y'all with the Greek and with the Hebrew. Listen, but when they say Shemayim, they're just saying places up there. And when you continue to travel up there, you realize it's outer space up there. But it's talking about the places that are up there. Shemayim, the heavens of your mind. The places up there. You hear me? Shemayim. And Hashem, think about Shem is also the sacred name. Because Shem, they're called Hashem. The name of the Lord is the Hashem, the name. But Shem could mean many things. But Shema or Shem could be the Shinu or Shem or the Shin or the Shen, which was the cartouche of ancient Egypt that inscribed your name or your purpose. This is all in, like, phonetically, they're connected to one another. I'm just saying. You might say, well, how are you connecting it? It's just a thought. It's just a thought. I'm connecting the thought up like dots. Able to make these things relative to one another. To mean one thing. All right? That this heaven is within you. And you got to find it within each other as well. All right? The love that you have within one another. You got to find it. You got to really, truly find it. All right? So, yeah. So today so happens to be the 70th day. Moving on to the 71st day. All right, which is Emmanuel. All right. The body is broken into, first of all, 31 portions. All right, hear me. The body is broken into 31 portions. Okay, but after you pass that 31 threshold, it can be 31 if you think about it, but it's really 32. Okay, that's why 32 is a sacred number in the codex, because 0 is a position that no one can hold. It represents the Most High. All right, so yeah, the Most High is relative to this reality, but it's undetectable to our reality when it comes to mathematics. That's why it's all in the same boat, but it's still there. All right, so you got 0 and 1 through 31, and this is same thing as, like, I broke down as the 4 different positions of what is considered, what is called an octet in an IPv4 address. In an IPv4 address, you got four bytes, which is 32 bits. But those 32 bits are broken into 8 portions, and that 8 represents, is also symbolic of time, or the taurine energy, or the compass, if you want to talk about it. But it goes so real, it goes so deep, because that 131, just I broke this down talking about the height of your reality is sweet 16, which 16 times 16 is 256. And 256 represents the various different addresses that can be allocated when you take on an IPv4 address. But whether you know it or not, when you're born into reality, you're almost taken in on an IPv4 address as well. All right, because it's the same thing. You going from 1 through 31, but 1 through 31 if you is 0, 1 through 31. All right, but 0 again is a position that no one can take. None of us say I'm 0. I was born on 0. None of y'all can say that. But we know the Most High, or what's relevant to our reality, math in a mathematical sense, to make it represent something, would be the 0. And I gave you the story, like I gave you the story of the Messiah through the numbers. Remember, I told you, I said the Messiah was born, right? Born, all right. I said he got the knowledge, then he got the experience with the wisdom, then he went to the crack of the door, start understanding himself, which is 3, understanding. He started understanding himself, cracking, went through the crack, looking at the crack of the door. Then at the number 4, he stepped through the door, sat on his throne, which is the 4 legs. And at the number 4, he realized he had 5, which was the power. All right, shout out to Sister LaUnc, I see you. At 5, he had the power, but at 6, he realized that the power was a gift and a curse. So he had to yield to something that was greater than himself, which was the 7. The 6 yielded to the 7, which was greater than himself. All right? And what is 67? The noble wraith, right? Come on, follow it. Follow it. He yielded something that was greater than himself. You know what I'm saying? So, also, what's so deep about it is that, you know, after the 7, you was looking around for God. The Messiah was looking for God, but the Messiah couldn't find God, no matter what temple he went in. So the Messiah had to find the God in one place that he didn't look, which was within himself. And that's when he met the number 8. When he met the number 8, he went to the mirror. That's when he found God. He found God within himself. He seen it. Yo, you know what's so deep? I'm gonna give y'all another scripture that's gonna blow y'all mind, right? When you go into what's this? Revelations chapter 21. Revelations. This is an important revelation. Man, this is my favorite. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. I done cried a lot of times reading this scripture. Because it's like I know what it meant. I know what it really truly means for me. And you got to be able to visualize certain realities that you want. And keep it real. You got to be able to visualize it. If nobody has the vision, then you got to have it. Especially for yourself. You know what I'm saying? You got to have it, man. Let me give y'all something real quick. All right, and I'm not a preacher, but I deal with the principles. All right, so I connect you up with the principles real quick. I got you. So I'm gonna give you, and I want to read this to you, and hopefully this can touch somebody's spirit. All right. So it says this, right? And then remember, this conversation, it was like a heavenly conversation because we was talking about heaven and we was keeping it on the concept of heaven. But it says this, right? This is Revelations chapter 21. You got to realize, well, what is 21? 21 is 12 backwards, which also represents the canopy of heaven. Remember that. Heaven has 12 gates. Remember that. 12 gates. And each gate, well, no. It has 4 sides, 12 gates, or what is considered to be 3 doors in each side. It has 4 sides and 3 doors on each side. Y'all hear me? It's like a square. Like a square, it has 4 sides and 3 doors on each side. All right? That's what it's relative to. I mean, it's not really that, but it's relative to that. Now you gotta contemplate on that in your mind. If it has 4 sides and it has 3 doors on each side, all 3 are one. You know what I'm saying? All 3 are one. But what's so deep about it is that it's the zodiac. Each 12 of the zodiac. It's the 12. That's why I said 12 is relative to the canopy of heaven. All right? Even when you go to the woman, she has the 12 stars above her head. It's in Revelations chapter 12. But fast forward, look at this. Chapter 21, the reversal of it. The reversal of it. Mathematics. Chapter 21, verse 1. And I saw a new heaven. Whoa, a new heaven. You mean to tell me there's going to be a new heaven? Why is there a new heaven? And a new earth. And a new earth? Hold up. I saw a new heaven and a new earth. For the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. Alright? So, this is all symbolic. The sea represents the people. Wake up. Remember that. I can go various different places in Revelations. The sea represents the people. Alright? But a particular type of people. Alright? Because the sea is not the ocean. Okay? Keep it real. So, it could be the ocean in relative perspective, in some people's perspective, but it's not in this sense. Alright? The sea is talking about the people. Alright? A certain particular group of people. Alright? But it said, I saw a new heaven and a new earth. And why would there be room for a new heaven and a new earth? You know what I'm saying? Like, was the first heaven good enough? That's the question. If we have to employ a new heaven, you employ something new when something else is old, is expired. All right. So I'm bringing you to the thought of what they gave you as heaven, or what they gave you as your happy place, or what your happy place should be. All right. Sometimes you got to shut certain things out and become one with yourself and become one with what you have, yo. We'll keep it real. Because if you don't, nobody else will appreciate it. All right. So a new heaven and a new earth. For the first heaven and the first earth was passed away. And then I, John, saw what? A holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God. Whoa. Coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a what? As a bride adorned for her husband. Whoa. You got to think about that. Like, you know, are you ready to embrace your spirituality like a bride adorned for her husband on her wedding day? You know, when she making that decision, I don't think it's no turning back. I think that's like the final coup de grace. It's like, okay, I'm ready to take that walk in a sense. All right, but that's what spirituality is about. It's a marriage. It's a contract of sort that you have with your God or with your concept of God. It's really like almost like a marriage. All right, but it said I saw the holy city, New Jerusalem. You know, in Islam, we don't call it New Jerusalem. We actually call it Dar Islam. All right, Ashe. We actually call it Dar Islam. And you might say, what's the difference? What's the meaning? What's the difference of Dar Islam? All right, and the difference between New Jerusalem. So New Jerusalem is really a holy city or city of peace, in a sense. It's relative to the thought of a city of peace. But when you talk about Dar Islam and this same relative perspective, Dar Islam is a state within yourself. You hear me? Like it's a place that lands. It's an abode that lands within yourself. When you say Dar Islam, y'all hear me? That's the difference of this type of heaven that lands or that is coming to land here on this reality. All right, it lands on your mind as well as in your heart. So yeah, it's a city of peace because you got to know how to square off your actions. All right, and circumvent your deeds in a circumvent your deeds in a certain way. You got to know how to square off your actions, but that's how you draw and create your city. All right, that's how you draw and create your abode. But moving forward, and I heard a great voice out of heaven, and behold, saying, "Behold, the tabernacle of God is what is with humanity." All right, and He will, and He will dwell with them, and they shall be His people, and God Himself shall be with them, and what? Be their God. This is a deep verse, man. When I told you I read this stuff sometimes and it made me cry, because when you think about the concept of it, you know, once you have this like, I'm gonna read it over. It says, I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, behold, the tabernacle of God is with men, and He will dwell with them, saying they shall be His people, and God Himself shall be with them and be their God. This is relative. I told you. I said, man, yo, the Messiah is here. I keep on telling y'all, man. I tell y'all with every breath and every time I get on here that figure that they consider to be the Messiah is here. All right? But the way the Messiah returned is a relative network that we can tap into. It's a network that you have to be one with. You have to raise your consciousness to that certain state to tap into the network. All right? And that's why it said, yo, God will dwell with them. All right? And they shall be His people, and God Himself shall be with them and be their God. All right? We're all gods. Yo, look, let me tell you something, man. It's like when you go back into the biblical story, this following the narrative, when you follow the narrative, right, in the biblical story of Adam and Eve, right, or Hawa, which is the mother of all living, right, and Adama, which is of the ground, which comes from of the ground, right? It was a reason why, literally, what is considered to be the oppositional force tempted the woman and didn't tempt Adam at that point. All right, because if you got God with you, if you have God on your heart in a certain way, the devil ain't going to tempt you. But if you stray outside the norm, if you go outside where you're supposed to be, the devil will tempt you. If you go outside that place that you're supposed to be, the devil will always tempt your mind in some sort of way. But the instruction wasn't given to her. But, Adam was supposed to give her a certain instruction. Okay? Just like it's our duty as men, to bring forth this word, because the woman gave birth to us to remind her of herself. Let me keep it real.
Wow.
Like the woman gave birth to man as like a conduit of her existence, because it's proven that in the biological realm, everybody came from a woman. We all came from a woman, but the feminine aspect still needs the masculine aspect in some sort of way. But this is what she did. She gave birth to that out of darkness. She came to the light. All right? But that light was to remind her of herself. That light was to be a guiding light when she was in darkness, to pull her up out of her darkness, or pull her up out of herself. All right? And thus we have reciprocity within one another. We have reciprocity within a relationship of femininity and masculinity, and what we have to offer one another. All right? But going back, give me about 10 more minutes of your time. 10 more minutes of about your time. And it's 1:22 right now. Cool. 1:22. So that's an inversion of 12:21, which actually means love. All right? Which means the focus is love. Okay? So, I bring a lot of these things up because, I want to be known as not a motivational speaker. I want to be known as a transformational speaker. When I get on here, I want everyone to be moving towards a greater direction within themselves. All right? And what I share with you is the battle, not only that I face, it's the battle that you face as well. All right? So it says this. Going back, it says this. Verse 4. And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow, nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. You say, for real? Yeah. And then it says, oh man, I got so much of a breakdown for this. And it says, and he that sat upon the throne said, behold, I make things new. And he said unto me, write these words are true and faithful, which is Amun. All right? And he said unto me, I am the 1 and the 31, the beginning and the end. And I will give unto him that is athirst of the foundation of water of life freely. And I'll break this stuff down. Yo. Psh. Listen, man. Yo. Listen. So it said, God shall wipe away all the tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow. What if I told y'all one of the messages I'm supposed to bring is that some of us will live in the future and some of us won't? What if I tell you that? I'm sorry. You can stop moving so much, please. What if I tell you part of the message that I'm supposed to bring, besides the message of the Codex, is that some of us are going to live in the future and some of us are not. Some of us are going to make the choice now, within this day and time, to live in the future. And some of us won't live in the future. I'm talking about as yourself, who you are now. Not who you are, but another form of yourself, but with various memories of relatively who you are or what you are. All right? Some of us will live, and it's a fact. It's a fact. That's part of the message that I came to bring. All right? But it says God shall wipe away the tears from their eyes, because it's not going to be no more death. I'm going to keep it real. It's going to come a time where they're going to find a cure for death. All right? And they're coming with it. The cure for death, you want me to tell you the cure for death? It's going to blow your mind. It's love, man. The cure for death is love. Because, death is really change, if you want to call it that, or transition in some form of way in composition. But it's something deep, it's something else about that. You know what I mean? That that we're coming into, that it's not going to exist no more, which is the cure for it. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's important to get our words in order. I broke down this so many years ago when I first came into this information. When the Messiah flowed through me, that's one of the first things I said to people, and it was so powerful. It was too powerful for people. And it's like I knew these things just from my mind. Like your last will and testament. Everybody has to write their last will and testimony. And your last will and testimony is your trust. You have to create an actual trust, which is your last will and testament. And your last will and testament, you have to have a couple trustees as well as your beneficiary. But your last will and testimonial trust, what you do is you create a declaration. You have a declaration, which is your baptism, which is your death. It's your formal death. It's your choice of death. Because when you're baptized, you actually die, whether you know it or not. It's symbolic of you dying and being reborn. So you have to be baptized in the process of this, and that's your declaration. All right? And then you got your indenture of your trust, which is the rules and regulations of your trust and how it operates. And that is what is the contents of your will and how you want your will to perform. But in part of that, you have to give it to your trust. And what you do is all your body parts as well as your consciousness. You give it all to your trust. And what you should be doing right now is creating a time capsule. Like I got a time capsule, whether you know it or not. All right. But we all should have time capsules. All right. And those time capsules, what you do is you collect DNA of yourself and you mail it to a certain location. A sacred location that will stand the test of time. All right. And this will be part of your trust. All right. And that is the holder until time catches up where to download this information. Keep it real. Because you have consciousness in your blood. You have consciousness. Your consciousness or your memory is in everything. You know what I'm saying? Your vital self or who you are is in various different parts of yourself, like your hair. You know what I'm saying? Like your blood. You know what I mean? It's various memory content that's still in that DNA. And if you constantly upload it by mailing it to yourself, you actually create a time capsule. And guess what? You know what's so deep about it? If you create a trust, and then, which is your last will and testimonial trust, and then you send all this mail to yourself, guess who's the only one can open the mail? You. Only person that can open the mail is you, where it'd be illegal. The only person that can open the mail is you. So imagine that. You got yourself waiting on yourself. How deep is that? This right here is called a time loop. A real time loop. A real future millennium man type of loop. But that's part of the message I came to give y'all. Besides anything, is that you can build your own heaven on this earth, and you have the choice to live in the future if you want, and live in the now if you want as well. You can always live in the now. You can live in the future. You can live. Heaven is a place that you can create in your own realm by appreciating those that you have around you. All right? That's another thing. I wanted to take away just a summary to this lesson. I wanted to take away the concept of haven as in heaven, because haven is not my heaven. That's not my heaven. A haven is not my heaven. A heaven is a garden. If you think about the Messiah after the alleged crucifixion, resurrection, what was he dressed as? The gardener. All right? Tending to God's garden. Meaning that he was in the heavenly abode of his mind when he resurrected from what? A physical state. When he was in an upgraded state, what? He was in the heavenly abode. All right? But let me do this real quick before I get off. I want to show y'all something that's so hot. If you knew the upgraded body of the Messiah, I'm showing you the universe right now. Right now, what you're seeing is the universe on my phone. I got a screen share on my phone right now. Now, boom. I got a screen share on my phone. Y'all see that? Y'all get to see where I am in the galaxy right now. Y'all see this? This is like a special moment. This is like, I guess, an exclusive type of build, all right, or type of discussion. Now, what I'm showing you is the universe from my perspective. As you see, I'm pointing at Aquarius right there. I'm pointing at Aquarius right there. I'm pointing at... Wow. Y'all both in the place of Aquarius. Y'all in a good place. Y'all in a good place. There's a reason why y'all congregated right there, because it's an energy right there. You know what I'm saying? It's an energy right there. It's an energy right there. Look at this. So, just showing y'all real quick, everyone. Just showing y'all. Look, listen. So, the zodiac is all around you. If you notice that on the screen, I'm showing you the zodiac around me. I know you can see it on the screen. You can see the way I'm moving. But the way I'm tracing my phone is to follow the zodiac. It's the energies and the various different templates of the zodiac. Alright? Y'all see that? The various different planets. I can see all the planets. Alright? And see the energies and different influences of certain planets. Alright? So, the reason why I'm showing you this is because whether you know it or not, you can tap into the universe and the energies of the universe, yo. As a Messiah, man, you got so many powers, man. It's crazy. This is one of the things I had to reveal to y'all as well. Like, man, listen. Y'all, like, if you point your hands, your feet, if you even look at a certain constellation or star, or what is considered to be a certain celestial or planetary, should I say, man, what am I saying? Like, the things that exist in outer space of sort, or because they're heavenly bodies, but they also influence your mind, which is a heavenly body. All right? So when you actually point certain portions of your body towards these designated areas, you can receive a certain influence or energy from those designated areas. Because whether you know it or not, excuse me, whether you know it or not, whether you know it or not, um, you can create an antenna, yo. Like your body is an antenna that can tap into the station. Like the way you move your hands, the way you do your hands, the way you put your hands in a certain type of way has always been a way to adjust the antenna. I explained this many times before. Like if you put your hands a certain way in prayer, it adjusts the antenna. Like for this representing receiving blessings of provision. When you hold your hands out like this and you can pray and actually manifest things like that, or meditate and manifest things in that perspective. Because like imagine if you speak into the universe and you don't know the universe's language. The universe speaks in universal language, of course, but it comes from your heart. It weighs the heart of each and every one of us. But the way that you put your body represents the way your heart or your intentions express themselves. Because the hands are connected to synaptic nerves or your brain or thoughts. Your hands are connected to thoughts. Alright? So the way you move or put your hands is a way to receive or connect up with the universe. Alright? So that's why I said if you also put your hands in a certain designated place, you actually can tap into the energies and the influence of that particular heavenly body or celestial body. That's what I was expressing to everyone. Alright? Besides the point of that. But we're the Messiah. We are the body of the Messiah. Once you realize that, you become something else. But that doesn't mean you're going to have an easy life. Because the crown that the Messiah wore was a crown of thorns, yo. Think about that. A crown of thorns. Imagine somebody wearing a crown of thorns, man. Like stress heavy on your brain. Like things weighing heavy on your mind. To the point that it make your brain bleed, your head bleed. That's the crown of a Messiah. It's the crown of thorns. It almost looked like your locks too as well. But the crown of thorns was also Saturn chronology. I can break that stuff down. All types of stuff. But what I really mean to tell y'all is that the crown of thorns that the Messiah wears represents the stress and the hardship that the Messiah bears day in and day out, doing and fulfilling the job of God and fulfilling his duties and his job as a laborer. Because the Messiah, the designated job for the Messiah is a laborer. It's not a carpenter. You know, a carpenter back in the day or back in antiquity was considered to be a modern day laborer. So what does a laborer do? You call a laborer up, you say, yo, I need this work to do. And the laborer will be like, I got this skill set so I can fulfill any array of these things because I got this skill set. You got to think about your spirituality. These spiritual weapons that you need to apply. You are the laborer for the universe. Whether you know it or not, the universe is calling you every day. The universe is saying, yo, man, look. Yo, check this out. Yo, Zola, I got a particular job for you to do today. Yo, Thea, I got a particular job for you to do today. Alright? Yo, Lazarus, you got a particular job to do today. And guess what? You're going to say, man, you're like, yo, I don't feel like working today. I don't feel like, the laborers, they come to work when they want. They don't got a set schedule. They come to work when they want, right? That's how we are sometimes. Because a laborer is not responsibility. Hell, you can fire a laborer. You never see people fire laborers, don't even give a fuck. They don't care. Because a laborer is day to day. Alright? It's like that with the universe. I'm trying to tell you. But your attitude, a laborer sometimes get hired on the job, right? Mm-hmm. You're like, damn, you was a laborer. You got hired. Yeah, I know. That's how it is with heaven. How you come into the garden of God. You did that work so much. You did so much work that guess what? Now you hired. You on the team. You get a shirt. You get the company shirt. You get to put on the whole armor of God. You get the whole company shirt with the badge. That's how it is with this reality that you call life, and how you embrace it. It's just like that, one and the same. It's work to do, man. You know what I mean? But it's 141 right now. It's a cool moment. Hopefully you got the 411, since it's 141, and the 141 are the ones that are for the oneness. Those are the Revelation chapter 14 verse 1 that sit on the mount. But that's also from Genesis chapter 14 verse 4. 4:14 that became the lost ones. They were the lost ones that became the found at Revelation chapter 14 verse 1. All right. Real talk. And all of us we didn't all come with this knowledge in the backpack. We had to find it somewhere, and we found ourselves within it. Keep it real. So I want to leave y'all with that, man. All the good people, man. I love y'all. Thank you for the time. I know it's a late night discussion, but I gotta move with the spirit. However the spirit moves me, man. I gotta be open for the network of how the Messiah speaks. Alright? I just need y'all to know that. I need to be open for the network when the Messiah is speaking. Yo, certain angels like you hear, certain angels you see, but majority the angels you feel, yeah. Keep it real. You gotta get back into that. The Dr. Phil. Everybody loves Dr. Phil. You gotta go see Dr. Phil. Alright, but it's the feeling of certain things, man. Yo, the blind man leads by feeling. By feelings, yo. You know what I mean? The blind man or the blind woman utilize a certain set of feeling to understand reality. Just to interpret reality. This is what I'm saying. I'm telling you. The angels, they speak through you, but it's through a certain set of feelings, yo, that you have to embrace within yourself. Alright? And that's just knowing who you are as a being. And once you're confident with that, trust me, you're going to go through many paths. You know what's today? Today is called Emmanuel. As we move forward from Melekut, which represents the heaven. Melekut represents heaven, which is the 70th day. But we're moving on to the 71st day, which is called Emmanuel, which means El is with us. Oh, God is with us, right? Yo, didn't I? Like, that's what I said, man. Yo, we living in a book. I just read that. I just read that. Man, it's so deep, man. If God was with y'all, you know what y'all would do with God? Y'all would probably beat God up. I'm dead serious. When you look, like, if you think about the Messiah and just in the story in general, I know the Messiah wasn't crucified, but you just think about the story in general, right? Like, people would harass God in a certain way. People would treat God less than God. But how can God be less than God? You know, I think my personal thing, when I break down this God situation, I think God is so far away from us because the power is so strong that it will wipe us out. It will wipe us out. But God is so close to us. like the father, like fathers, like how you know how fathers go and stuff. Fathers be going and shit. It's almost like that. It's almost feel like that. That's why they say God is relative to the Father. Because God left, or God is so far away, because God is so powerful. Imagine a light that's so bright. If you look at it, it it resonates as darkness to the spectrum of how you see things. That's the room that you come in when you actually come into this realm of God. You coming into a light that's so bright, it blinds you. You like, Moses came in thick darkness. I'll show you that. Exodus chapter 21. Wow. Look, listen. Moses went into thick darkness to see God because he knew he couldn't bear that light. He knew he couldn't bear that light. That's how it is, man. That's when you look at the canopy of the sky, that's what you realize. That's God shining right there. That's the universal principle that we all embrace. That shines so bright, it's just darkness to how we see things. I think you need to look at that power like that. If we register that power like that, I think we will have a greater power within ourselves. Especially for certain things and challenges that we go through. But I think I got one more thing to say before I get off. One more thing to say. And I think I'm going to leave y'all with this one. Hopefully this can change somebody's life, yo. I really hope. For the better. Look at this. I'm gonna leave y'all with this, cause I meant to say this earlier, but it didn't. I was just flowing. So it is what it is. But 73-25. Yeah, man. Yo, in this world, man, I'm telling you, it's moving at God's speed. But yo, listen, man. No matter what you doing, no matter what is going on in your life, no matter how fast you are moving on this information highway, you always got to have God on your heart and God on your mind, yo. If anything I can tell you, anything I can say as a brother, yo, like, no matter what, like, even like, and you're not perfect, yo. Like, all of us aren't perfect, man. Like, we do things that are out of character. But that's the moment when you didn't have God on your mind. I need you to know that. It's the moment you didn't have God on your mind. But it says, whom have I in heaven but thee? And there is none upon the earth that I desire but what? Thee. That's why I said you always gotta have God on your mind, yo. You always gotta have God on your heart. This is your heaven. It says, whom have I in heaven but thee? There is none upon the earth that I desire besides thee. So I'm going to leave y'all with that, man. Alright. Hopefully this was good for some people. It is what it is. We on a grind. Thank you for everybody that's on the late night. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate your time. 747-24/7 361 degrees. Shout out to my 1221s. I love you. You love me. Me is we. Shout out to my 141s, my 414s that know the 411. Shout out to my 515s, my 151s that already know that, love is the strongest magic of them all. Alright? Magic, 5 letters. Oh, no. Love is the strongest magic. So shout out to my 515. Shout out to my 616s. Whatever area code you in, shout out. Get out of Lions Den. Shout out to all my 616s. Shout out to my 717s. They already know God's kingdom is like 7-Eleven. It's open 24/7. I know I've been running this spiel for years. Shout out to my 818s. The seed is the word of God. You know what it is. Raise it right. Make sure they're rooted in the right place. And when you plant the seed, it got to land on your heart, which is the fertile ground. I need you to know that. Shout out to my 818s. It is a 515 or 151 moment right now. Cool. 151. All right. So shout out to my 919s. Again, the only way you can get out of the matrix is you got to be called. Remember that we all have purpose to fulfill.